Welcome to Reread, where I am still rereading through the expanded universe in chronological order, and now we are on book 14 of the Jedi Apprentice series. This one is called The Tie That Binds, and we're in a new story arc here where it begins with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon on this planet, and they are chased by wolves. So it's basically the whole movie of Grey before they even made the movie The Grey. I'm just kidding. But as they fend off the wolves and get away from this little mini adventure in this chapter, Qui-Gon has a vision, and it scares him to death, and he has to get to Coruscant immediately. So he tells Obi-Wan, let's go to Coruscant. So they get there. He just busts on into the Jedi Council. He doesn't know why, but then Tahl is there. She's about to go on a mission. They're kind of shocked. Qui-Gon, what are you doing here? I must accompany her on this mission. He didn't even know what was going on. He just knows something bad will happen to Tahl if she goes on this mission alone, which she has been lately. You see, she took the Jedi Apprentice Bant as her Padawan, and Bant has been in the novels this whole time. She's a good friend of Obi-Wan's, but Bant feels kind of rejected because Tahl keeps going on missions on her own and leaving her there for whatever reason. We don't know. In fact, Tahl is about to go again and leave Bant at home. Now, sadly, Bant does not go with them. Qui-Gon didn't even go with them because Tahl says, I will go alone. The Jedi Council goes, yes, you'll go alone. But when a few days turns into a few weeks, Qui-Gon says he's going to go, and he defies the council. The council doesn't say no, but they said, if you do this against our wishes. He goes, fine, I'm wasting time now. And he's very rude to Mace Windu, and Obi-Wan is shocked. What's going on with his master? Well, Obi-Wan decides he's going with him, even though Qui-Gon's like, no, I don't want you to get in trouble either. He's like, no, my place is at your side. It just shows they have this really tight bond and this tight friendship that's going on. Again, I've said this a million times, but Drew Watson really does a great job building the relationship between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. But this time it's a little bit different. Qui-Gon cannot wait to go rescue Tahl. Now, for some reason, the book just basically forgets about Bant. Not forgets about her, but wouldn't Bant also want to go on this mission if she heard Qui-Gon was going after a former master? For whatever reason, she didn't come along for the ride. It's just Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. They go to this war-torn planet that we've seen several times before. There's basically the workers, I think it's the citizens or something, and then there's the absolutes. They're the smallest group, but they're the kind of like the radicals. And every time there's a leader, that leader gets assassinated, and then the other tribe side puts up their leader, and both leaders are trying to maintain peace, but they keep getting assassinated. So when they get there, Tahl's original mission was to rescue these twins whose father had gotten assassinated a long time ago, and they think they may be next. But when Qui-Gon gets there to visit the twins, they said they haven't even seen Tahl. They're like, wait, no, she never came here. We never called for her. And so now Qui-Gon is really worried. Well, eventually he gets captured by the absolutes, tortured a little bit, not too bad, and then he realizes as he's blindfolded, Tahl is there. He hears her voice. She has infiltrated this group here. Well, as they all leave, she's kind of the leader. She makes them all leave, and then she says, I can't get rid of you, can I? And she like puts her fingers on Qui-Gon's face to kind of feel, and she feels he's smiling, and he knows it through the Force that she's smiling too, because they both like each other. And so he unties her blindfold. He says, I'm just glad to see you. I'm glad to hear your voice, to hear that you're safe. And just all this emotion just rolls off Qui-Gon. He's like, oh, good, she's okay. All right, so maybe my vision won't come true. But he keeps having this vision of Tahl dying in his arms. And so he's worried for her. He wants her to get off this planet. Let's grab the twins. Let's go. Supposedly the twins knew that Tahl was here. They were just pretending that she wasn't to, protect her as she goes undercover to kind of figure out who's basically involved with all these assassinations. Who's trying to cause all this chaos? Is it the absolutes? No, they're too small of a group to be doing that. Now, earlier, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon had been set up some hunter-seeker droids, because that's what you got to fight is hunter-seeker droids. Really, they're not other humans that they can beat, right? You can't kill an alien in a children's book, but you can kill some robots, let me tell you. So they get attacked earlier. They want to know who it is. The next leader gets assassinated, and suddenly they're like, okay, you know what? There's a bunch of chaos. The twins get kidnapped for a while, but then they get released, and the head security guy of the palace goes, hey, look, they have decided to all meet. All the heads of each faction will meet, but they all want a Jedi mediator for this one, except for the absolutes, because the absolutes later on, for some reason, Tahl gets uncovered as a Jedi. We don't know how. She didn't know how she got, revealed as a Jedi, but now the absolutes are mad at her, even though they do agree to have a Jedi at the table there. And so Qui-Gon's like, okay, well, that'll be me. I was here years ago doing a peace treaty. I'll do it again. Tahl's like, no, it should be me because I was with the absolutes. They're the least trusted group out of all of them. And since I know what's, truth and what's false with them, since I kind of ran with them for so long, then I can actually speak for them and put in a good word so all three can be represented on equal ground. Qui-Gon doesn't like that. He's kind of worried for Tahl, and then he asks Obi-Wan to give them a moment as they go into a room. And everyone thinks they're going to argue. In fact, Tahl thinks they're going to argue. But Qui-Gon isn't there to argue because now it's just hit him. He's in love with Tahl. Qui-Gon is in love with her. And, well, he doesn't. He's just, I pledge you my life. And if you don't feel that same, I'll go back to being a friend. And it's a nice moment. There's a lot of nice moments. When she feels him smiling and he can sense her smiling is a very touching moment. And this time where she waits for a long time and Qui-Gon's like, oh, I kind of put myself out there. Maybe I should go back in the friend zone. She's like, no, I pledge my life to you too. And so now Qui-Gon just feels energetic and he feels awesome. And as he comes back out, Obi-Wan is looking at his master like, oh, what's going on? What was that all about? It's kind of over Obi-Wan's head at this point. Eventually Obi-Wan will understand what really went on between him and Tahl. But he feels safe. But he doesn't want to leave with the twins off planet until Tahl comes back from the peace treaty. So she goes off to the peace treaty. They sit down and wait. They're still trying to figure out who the traitor was. They think they know who it was. There's a girl they met at a museum a while back at the very beginning of the book. She had, I think, a medallion with an emblem on it. And it was the same symbol that was on those hunter-seeker droids. So when she, I think, knocks on the door to come by and say hello to him, they're like, so you were the one that set those, why'd you set the droids on us? Because they had your symbol. She went, this isn't my symbol. This is the symbol for all workers. She went, wait, what droids? Who sent those after you? Who would have, she's like, well, we had some stolen. So that, fingers can be pointed anywhere. And as she's talking to him, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan go, wait, why, if you're, with the workers, why aren't you at the peace treaty right now? And she went, what peace treaty? And it's so funny because I can't remember if it's the next chapter or the next paragraph. It just says Qui-Gon, the next thing Qui-Gon knew, he was running down the hallway. He didn't even remember getting off out of his seat because now he knows Tahl's been set up. It's a trap. It was the head of security the whole time, and he was just trying to separate the Jedi. And so he's running to this meeting and trying to get in. And of course they get there. There's her lightsaber, but she's not there. She's gone. Qui-Gon is furious, grabs the lightsaber, smashes it, or smashes the hilt down on the table, kind of cracks the table. And Obi-Wan is astounded. He's never seen Qui-Gon lose it like that. So he's just so confused. What is going on with his master? Now this is funny because in a few books earlier, this kind of touched, and I never really realized this until rereading it through here, but in a lot of books earlier, there are these two people who are in love. And it was the royal family, I think, the episode. Well, there's lots of those. But anyway, where the two sons, one didn't want to rule the planet, the other one did, but he was the younger son. Okay, well, he was in love with a girl from the other planet, their arch rival. And Qui-Gon says he saw it all the time, but Obi-Wan didn't see it. How did you not see it? He went, you will over time, Padawan. But now we flash forward. Now Qui-Gon's the one in love, and Obi-Wan just doesn't understand Qui-Gon's erratic behavior right now. I love that. I love it. And that's basically how it ends. Tahl has been captured, and now they need to find her. So this is basically the third kind of story arc that they put in here as we're getting toward the end. One thing I did notice at the end of this book is an advertisement for the Jedi Quest series. And it was coming out that year, that August. So I guess these books came out every other month. I don't remember how fast they came out. I need to kind of look at the publication dates again. But it's like, wow, they're already advertising Jedi Quest. And now it reminds me, there's only a few books left in this series. And I'm sad because I don't want it to end. But it eventually will. And I'll review the next one later.